All right, what are my easy tips for staying in shape year round? Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And this is stuff that I've learned over the decades of coaching, keeping in mind I historically have been one of those guys who've always stayed fluffier because I cared about strength, cared about powerlifting for the most part. Obviously, I've had clients who were shredded and stuff, but now that I've dieted down leaner, what people are noticing what they are noticing is they're like, you seem to actually get continually leaner at this point. You're always a little bit leaner all the time, but still making, progress and stuff. You're still doing well in the gym. And that's kind of the point I've been trying to make with people. And I want to continue to just share some tips on that. Because I found that to be successful, and I've said I'm going to keep getting leaner. Like there's no reason for me as somebody who's been training a while to bulk again. There's just no reason for it. Unless you're a skinny early novice, the whole idea of even trying to bulk up and then gaining body fat to do so is really kind of ludicrous. Like it is a complete waste of your time. It's a complete waste of your time. So then people say, well, how then do we stay in shape? How do I manage this? What happens if I'm going through a phase, where I can't train as much, I can't do all the things? And that's the beauty of it. Like once you've been training and you've been building muscle, your metabolic rate's going to stay pretty high. And let's say that you're forced to even cut back and only get to the gym 3 days a week or whatever, and you only have 30, 40 minutes, right? Well, in that case, we really just don't use the lifting and the training to burn through a lot of extra body fat. But your day-to-day activities will do it. And it's still about calorie intake and nutrient partitioning. Like again, as long as you've been lifting, and we've got a little bit of a muscle base going here, your energy turnover is going to be pretty high. So then I would say the real trick is to focus on kind of what I do with the eating approach. Force protein and intermittent fast. I mean, didn't Martin Berkhan tell you guys this over a decade ago? Remember with his whole lean gains approach? Right? You guys remember it worked? It worked phenomenally well. It worked phenomenally well. He stayed shredded year round, had tons of people staying shredded year round, and Martin only trained 3 days a week. Now I do 5, and then I do cardio every day, but I have pretty extreme goals. But back over to the point. That really is kind of the key. And what I would say to people, irrespective of what else you do with your dietary approach, whether you're focused around a more carbohydrate-based diet, a healthy fat-based diet, the real thing that's going to keep you lean is going to be that calorie control and the protein overfeeding, right? And by protein overfeeding, I mean force feed protein. So if you tell me you really want to stay in shape year round, and then you say, I can't eat 300 grams of protein, well, there's your problem. You're simply refusing to stay in shape. Because what I find is that when you are training, and especially if you do your training and stuff fasted, that's going to be my advice. You got to get your training in the morning. Get it in early while you're still in your fasted window. Fast every morning. Don't eat anything till noon. All right? Don't eat anything till noon. No calories at all. You have black coffee, you can have caffeinated drinks, you have calorie-free drinks. Caffeine and stuff's great during that window if you go that route. Not everyone does caffeine. All right? Just make sure that you fast. And then eat tons of protein. All right? And I'm going to recommend protein intakes way higher than we need to gain muscle. All right? I'm going to recommend protein intakes way higher than we need to gain muscle. I'm going to say to most of you out there, it really needs to be crazy high. I'm talking for women 200 grams, men 300 grams as a baseline. And if you do that, and sure, we could scale it off body weight. We could scale it off body weight, in which case I might advocate something, in as high as 2.5 to 3 grams per kilogram of body weight. As a minimum. In fact, I'm going to say, if you really want to pull something off successfully like this, probably that minimum, 3 grams per kilo of body weight. We know 1.5 will maximize muscle growth, double that. Why? Because we're trying to stay lean. And that's what I'm telling everyone with this, as far as just getting into shape. If you end up being in a small calorie deficit, you're still going to have a muscle protecting and anabolic effect from all the protein. And you can take the protein a lot higher and this will actually get better. Okay? So if you're worried that's going to happen, but if you're eating enough protein, you're generally not going to lose any muscle even if the fat's coming off. Okay? If you're forcing down enough protein and you're keeping enough tension on the muscles. All right? So that's going to stave off definitely muscle loss. Okay? In fact, it allows for recomposition. And when you look at all those protein overfeeding studies, everyone lost body fat. So what I'm suggesting is this combination. So if you want to get in shape and just stay in shape, I think this is really, really the way to go. It is an easy mode. It is like a cheat code for it. And it can largely eliminate the whole idea of bulking and cutting. And you can get away with it really effectively in those periods of time to where you're struggling to stay in shape. Okay? Because if you end up having some cheat meals, you have some social events, but you maintain this sort of pattern, it will keep you leaner because you're going to tend to burn through body fat during the fasted window. And yeah, we regain it during the feed window sometimes, and that's what a lot of people point out with calories in, calories out, all right? Except that the protein itself can stave some of this off. So because all of the protein has to be converted into usable energy, there's a large thermic effect associated with it. The same thing as far as even converting protein into glucose. So if you're extremely protein focused and your body has ended up turning a lot of it into carbohydrate, which it will, there's an energy expenditure from that. And that energy expenditure is coming from the other stuff that you're eating or from your body fat stores. It's not coming directly from the protein itself. It might be coming from protein you've already converted into carbs and stored. But do you see where we're going with this? This has a blunting effect on the fat regain during the fed window. And it works and it is effective. And I've seen it effective over and over. We've watched examples of it. And on top of that, the whole thing controls your appetite. That's how even guys like Martin did get away with eating the junk food and still did the whole flexible dieting thing. You know, he used to be pounding down 1,500 calories of cheesecake sometimes during his feed windows, but it was always like protein first. And if that means that you have to drink a massive protein shake even to start, then drink a massive protein shake even to start. Okay? We need to be clear on that. Do whatever you have to do to hit that 3 grams per kilo of body weight by any means necessary. If that means you start with a 100-gram shake at the start of your fasting window, then that's what you do. And if you do this, I promise you, staying in shape year-round gets real easy. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.